Hello, chefs. This is Chef's Kids, a podcast. I'm your host, André Natera. On today's episode, we have Chef Brent Weathers, a chef based out of Dallas. You probably know him from Brent Eats Food. He's hilarious. On this episode, we talk about fancy chef superheroes, how to save the world, the do's and don'ts of the kitchen, hip hop. It's a fun one. Stay tuned. So, Chef, what's wrong with your eyes?
Thanks for asking. It wasn't baby oil. It was actually the bleach. It's something I put moisture or something, and I hope I grabbed it right. I'm hoping I grabbed it right.
Lube up the eyes.
Yeah, it was dry. I probably did. Reading is fundamental. You gotta read. Yeah. I don't know if I read the label right.
It's good to see you.
I'm good to see you, man.
Yeah.
You're real, not AI.
So it's funny that you say that. Someone messaged me one day, and because I put up a video, and I think they were used to seeing the chef's PSA captions every day.
Yeah.
So they messaged me and they're like, "Wow, you're a real person." I was like, "Yeah, I am." Like, wait a minute, you thought I was AI? They're like, "Yeah, I thought you were an AI account." So I thought it was pretty funny. Like, no, I'm not an AI account. I write those chefs PSAs every single day. Like, I wake up first thing in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee, sitting there typing,
Brilliant, by the way.
thinking about what shit I'm gonna write.
Yeah.
Your shit's brilliant.
I appreciate that. I like everything I post. I watched it. 9 is my favorite number. I watched it at least 9 times before I hit the post.
Do you?
I have to, because I can start popping off.
Yeah.
I was like, did I say somebody's name? Did I mention someone that I just double, triple, 9 quadruple check before I don't just wing it. No matter how short it is, I still like, hold on, is that guy's balls, out of the shorts? Is this guy, no matter what I do, if it's Brent Flicks or Masterclass, like, okay, make sure
Yeah. Some of your shit, I watch it. I'm like cracking up. It's wild.
Yeah. It's literally what crosses my mind. Before I had these thoughts, but I didn't know how to edit.
So the one video you did that, so I won't say who, but I put something up as like someone stealing my videos, literally. And when I say literally, I mean, it was like word for word. It was like, you go to my script and it was like what do bad line cooks do? Part 1 and part 2. And then someone else did the exact same thing. It was like, that's like literally word for word, or kitchen red flags. And I was like, well, this is I'm like, look, the person that did it, like, come on, like, you remember Ghostface on the Purple Tape, like, do your own shit and be original.
That wasn't the Purple Tape. That was on Raekwon's joint.
Yes.
That was on the
Only Built.
Yeah.
Only Built for Cuban Links gets on there. He's talking about,
real, make it your own ish and be original.
Yeah. So it's like, look, I know people like imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but it's like, dude, you're taking my exact stuff. Yeah. And so I posted that. I was like, hey, should I call it? I didn't end up calling, and I'm not going to call him out. Like, I'm not about that. But it's like, hey, look, people that know. But then a lot of people thought I was talking about you.
Oh, that's really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like sending me your videos, and I was like, no, I'm not talking about him. It wasn't. And so you messaged me, and you're like, hey, I'm not
biting you at all.
Yeah.
It's just great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Even down from, like, my middle name was André. You're André.
Yeah.
Like, the red and black, like, logo stuff. Like, it's creepy, because I literally want to take what you're doing now is literally what I want to do. Is what I'm going to do. I even talk to illustrators, like, literally, and then I meet you, like, you gotta be kidding me. But, like, we move different, but we're related.
Yeah. So I'd seen your stuff. And it was the one where you got the tongs, and you keep adding more tweezers. There's some on your glasses before you know it. And so John Tizar was on the podcast, and he was talking about you. He's like, oh, Brent. I was like, yeah. And so I was like, man, I started watching your stuff, and I was hooked.
Oh, cool.
I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm just like, oh, some of this stuff is gold. Yeah. For people that don't know, they should follow you.
I appreciate that.
What's your Instagram account so people could?
It is Brent Eats Food, because Brent Eats Food on Instagram, because my regular name was taken. Yeah. I was like, Brent Weathers, and it was like, no, that's taken. I was like, man, I'm not about that. And I had to I pulled out, actually, it was a friend of mine. His name was, it's Richard Eats Food on G. And he's a friend of mine. He helped me put my logo together. So I was like, giving him a tribute to him. Brent Eats Food.
Brent Eats Food. Yeah, so that first video I saw was great. So I guess my question would be, like, you think you could give Fancy Chef a run for his money? Fancy Chef 2013?
Man, yeah, he's extra entertaining, and, Andy Kaufman type stuff.
Yeah.
I hope it's real. I hope we bump into him And I hope we cut the cameras off. He's like, look, check this out. I worked at a Michelin restaurant in France. I opened up such and such in Switzerland. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. And so if you guys want to cook garbage food to here, it'd be kind of cool in a movie setting if he just like totally just went in the opposite direction. Like, dude, I cook for real, but all this goofy stuff I'll see on these cooking TV shows, if that's what you guys are like, that's what you guys like, all right, cool, let me dumb my stuff down. And that'd be kind of cool in my mind, in a movie setting. But I don't think that's the case. I think he's dead serious. I called him.
What did he answer?
Fancy speaking, how can I help you? It was cut and dry and short. I said, hey, what's up, man? I said, and I legit from my core, he inspires me. I'll tell you why later, but he inspires me. I said, hey, man, I'm inspired. I love her videos. I didn't tell why I loved them, but I said, I love her videos. Hey, okay. He said, that's cool, man. I appreciate you calling. Yeah. All right, cool, man. Are you going to Texas or where you going to next? Yeah, I'll be in Texas. All right, cool. All right. Well, one love to you, man. And I wish you well. Thank you for calling. He's very cut and dry. Like what you see on his lives, I got that treatment.
So I sent him a message because when he was going to do John Segura,
right? Did it? Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to be on John Segura. It's like Tom Segura, but yeah. So he's like, I'm going to be he's in Miami. He's going to Austin, Texas, and I'm like, okay. Everyone's saying, get him on the show. I was like, can I get the fancy chef on the show? So I sent him a message. I don't even know if he saw it. He probably didn't. But when he's talking, he's like mansions, castles, millionaires and billionaires only. Prices going up, 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 up. And I'm like, I don't know. Like if he thinks I'm going to pay him, like I ain't going to pay him.
$2,000 for the Beyonce drinks.
Yeah.
For the it was like cake and strawberries and extra fruit. There's no liquid in there whatsoever. We call it a drink. He's like, yeah, these are Beyonce's, $3,000 or $2,000, and these are the Beyonce's, and these are the he didn't say Halle Berry. He said the Rihanna's, Rihanna's and the Beyonce. $3,000 straight face. I love that because when I did my tweezer video, I had to make sure I had a straight face. When I put the original video had tweezers in my hair. Yeah. And I forgot, it was a long story, but I had to keep a straight face for that. So I love a straight face, like where people are like, is this guy for real? This guy's an idiot. And I was like, no, you need to know Brent. Like that's on purpose. Like so I would love it if he was doing this for real.
Yeah, like this is a subtle troll. It's the best kind. Like you said, Andy Kaufman. Like
that would be wonderful. After calling him. And after he does his straight serious stuff, like he plated a dish, and he said, "Hey, fancy chef, come over here and tell us about your food." 1 second, it's still leaking. So he cooked the ribeye that looked like a pork chop. Put it right when he cooked it, didn't rest it, put it right onto the plate, build a bunch of hard vegetables on top of it, and it was like And he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't show you guys right now. It's like live. It's like on it's live." Yeah. He's like, "Not yet, sorry." And it was like bleeding out. He didn't want rest at first, and then so I was like, he's like hacking this stuff up for real though. I think he's serious.
Well, he leaves a couple of cookie crumbs. Like I'm like, okay, because it's subtle. And the reason I know this is because I'm a troll. Okay. Like in real life, people that don't know me is like I'm a troll. I fuck with people. I do. Like I'll do. Like I used to put, a lot. There's a lot of subliminals. Like if people are really following me, and it's not always there, but every now and like the song is a subliminal diss at someone or the location, or read the caption. There's some subtle. So it's not for everybody. No, but you'll know it's for you. Yes. Like if you're reading it, it's about you, right? So I see Fancy Chef and he's pouring the vinegar on the chicken. Yeah, he's got the toothbrush backwards, but he's also got a raw egg behind the chicken, like it's laying eggs. So it's like that's level of humor that's for one. That's one person, like one or two people. Like that's the Easter egg. Right?
You have to whatever. And one time he cracked. He was like, "All right, guys, got paid. Just look at my pretty lips. Look at my pretty lips." And he laughed and cleaned it up real quick. I was like, I texted him a few times. Like, "Hey man, the jig is up. I'm proud of you. You're getting all these followers." When I first came across his page, it was 7,000 followers. The next week, it was. I don't know if it was that. Like
how long ago was this?
2 months ago. Dead serious. 2 months ago, he had 7,000 some odd followers. Yeah. And it was just shooting up.
So he has another video where he's wearing a silk orange pocket square.
Hilarious. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, he knows that's not right, but that he's Fancy Chef, right? He's got to wear a silk pocket square. Or he has another one with the lamb chop going in. Yeah. And the Cardi B whip. And the berries and
hard strawberries at the bottom, like it's not even clean. He's just thrown together. And he had another. He was on something where he said, I just create. That's all I'll do. I just want to create things off the spot. So when that podcast he just did, he was all about like, hey, I just want to come over here and create if need be. Like I'll just wing something. So that's the tip he's on. So when we see him do that one pot meals with the potatoes and the chicken, that's him being creative on the spot. He hits record. Y'all pay attention. Listen, they're beautiful by the chef. Beautiful and nice. Beautiful and nice. You guys see what I'm doing? Look at this. This is class from the chef. Thank you. Bye. Yeah. And I was like, I'm dying laughing.
You want this. Millionaires and
you
billionaires
guys want the billionaires want. If you're not a millionaire, if you don't have a castle, don't even call me. That's brilliant.
It really is. So when I look at that, so like I look at that as like that's a master class in marketing. Mm-hmm. So whether he's serious or whether he's not, like he came in. So you said you started watching him 2 months ago. He had 10,000.
Correct.
Right.
7,000.
So today's date is October 5th that we're recording. Today I checked his numbers. He's at 41,000. So he gained about 10,000 followers in the last few weeks.
Correct.
Right. And I promise you that he'll have 100,000 in no time.
He will.
And my prediction is like he'll have 1 million in no time. Now the thing that's interesting about him is, let me give away some industry secrets. Is like you look at a lot of these content creators that have millions of followers. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's 100% bots. They bought them, or they sign up with an agency. Like, okay, we're gonna be under management with me. Boom, we got to get you more followers.
That's correct.
Here's another. We're gonna get you to 100,000.
Correct.
Boom, bot.
Correct.
But they're bots. They're not real.
That's correct.
And so, I don't think he does that because I don't think he's working with.
Do it.
So those are real followers.
No. So it's the power. When I say, hey, chef, you inspire me. So when I first started getting on Instagram, I was supporting. I had something called Brent's Uncommon Sense. It was a soap line. I was helping with a friend of mine, and we had a partnership and whatever. And so I was doing everything. I said, hey, support this. And I was new at hashtag game. I was like, support that. I don't care about it. Support black, support local, self-care and whatever. 2 views. All because the artificial intelligence picks up me saying, hey, support, buy. And they're like, yo, you can't do this without paying us. You have to pay us first.
Right.
They made sure I got 11 views, 2 views. I'm like, what's going on here? And that's how Brentflix came about, because I was posting like, hey, let's buy this, get this, and do whatever. And then I was like, how about if I just post random stupidity? That's how Brentflix came about. And then now I'm hooked on that because I have nothing but stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how that Brentflix came about. But he doesn't care about none of that. He doesn't do no hashtags. He literally just full information on there.
Yeah.
And he just talks and say, hey, buy this and book me now. That's a big old social media no. You need to pay all those social media platforms. You got to pay them first. Then you can they'll take care of you. And that's what his deal was. And then the fact that the word of mouth literally got him that way. I'm pretty sure the Instagram people at the board of directors, the little desk they have when they have a little coffee and look at the screen. This fancy guy, what happened here? How did it slip through our fingers? Though it's just the power of word of mouth. He literally broke the rules by accident. He wouldn't even try. But his content is so funny. I'm probably nice. He's gonna watch this. His content is so interesting and funny.
Yeah.
That everyone talks about. We share it, and chefs are glued to it.
You can't stop watching.
It's just,
and he'll go on live for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like doing a comedy set.
It's comedy.
So he'll sit there live for 25 minutes talking to the camera, and everyone's watching. It's like, and people like, I used to read the comments earlier, like people picking on him, like, you're not a real chef. And I'm like, you're like, you know what? Who are you?
Right.
Who are you? Yeah. Like, you're the guy watching the guy that's not a real chef. You're the real chef watching the guy you're saying is not a real chef.
Right.
Who's winning?
So here's the deal. So you've seen Paid in Full.
Years ago.
Rewatch it immediately. Yeah. So Paid in Full at that magical clip. Hey, B, everybody eats, B. Everybody eats. Whatever you're into, in this culinary art game, there's so much room for everybody to get on. If you want to serve overcooked green beans out of a can for your magical catering and whatever it is, and your famous. One thing that drives me crazy is when these OnlyFans looking women, really provocative looking, they cook and they're like, hey, yeah, we getting it in today, whatever. So what happens is they take sauce that they made for the seafood sauce and they pour it over the shell. That drives me crazy. I can't stand when they do that. When they take sauce, put it over the shell, and guess what? It's selling. It's something like they have a line out the door. Hey, guy, I sold out today. Ooh, they're selling out. I'm like, you and me know better. Like, yo, what are y'all doing? This one lady put hash browns in the bottom of the to-go box I might be. I'll find it. Hash browns, my bad. It was like, cubed up potatoes fried and whatever. And then to put pasta directly on top of that, bell peppers ringed up raw. Put like whatever chicken or shrimp and just clouded the whole thing up. Hey, yeah, whatever. And it sold out. So whatever you want to do in this career, if you're 3, 2, 1 Michelin, if you're a James Beard wannabe, if you want to buy a James Beard award, if you want to, whatever angle in food you are at, if you country cooking, the store-bought rolls at your famous restaurant, the barbecue sauce that says hey, this is our award-winning barbecue sauce, and it literally says award-winning on the label from Kroger. Yeah, so whatever you are in this game, whatever you want to put out, there's room for you.
You're right, and this is the lesson that I the people that are listening. This is the lesson because a lot of people struggle with content creation, and they'll message me like, "Hey, can you look at my page and give me some feedback?" And their page looks like everyone else's page, and I'm like, look at Fancy Chef. He looks like Fancy Chef. Yeah. Like no, he doesn't look like anybody else other than him. And watch, pretty soon people are gonna start copying him. And what I find very interesting is here this guy comes in out of nowhere. And he smokes everybody. Like
body bag.
Like he by 2025, as long as he doesn't self-implode, by 2025, he has the potential to be to get some major deals. He will be a millionaire plus.
It's a fact.
You'll be cooking you'll be hearing about Fancy Chef parties.
He will have his own consulting group. It's a fact, and that's literally how it's going to go because the world loves. Hey, look, what goes viral is food and something being funny and sexy people and dogs and cats or whatever. He got half of those already.
So you got I saw this the other day, the Haktua girl. Yeah, there's a Haktua podcast.
I did a reflex on that one already. Yeah.
So she's like was it like the number one? She hit like number one in the podcast world.
I don't know about that, but she just started like a month-ish ago, and she's already having famous people in her bedroom.
A list, and not only that. No, I'm not kidding. I want to say she hit number one. I'm not sure if it was on one of these streaming, Spotify or whatever. But I'm almost certain that she hit number one. Is like how.
People love, yeah.
So Fancy Chef 2013. Don't forget, like, who gave you props.
No, he's taught me a lesson. No, break the rule. No, but the one thing that we need to take away from Fancy Chef, out of all dead seriousness, after I speak at his funeral, one thing we can say is his consistency, his determination. Look at how many posts he posts. He posts 5-6 times a day. Mm-hmm. His posts is in the 5-something thousand. He posted way over 5,000 posts, and that's years of doing that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool. You should do it like when you're like, hey guys, I'll give away this, that. If we go to Fancy Chef's page, scroll all the way down to the bottom. Let's get the very first post. If you can do that, screenshot us some material, I'll give you this.
So for people that are listening right now,
that's correct.
If you could screenshot Fancy Chef's very first, send it to me. The first person to send it to me, I'll send you all my books signed.
Done. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because he's already all of our friends, we clown him. It's like, this guy's a joke and whatever. Joke or not, we can still learn from that. Like his consistency, the fact that he doesn't use templates. He uses every now and then he uses a song from something,
Every now and again someone comes through and breaks the mold.
And he totally just like, hey guys, but he went the longer way because he's been doing this for years. I mean, I'm guessing 2013, like right when Instagram started. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. And he kept on posting and posting and posting. And now he gets to the point where he never stopped. I'm pretty sure his very first few posts he was getting clowned on. And he kept on going. And he never not once he doesn't do hashtags. He doesn't use fancy templates. He literally, he has his own lane he stays in. And I know he's joking. I know he's not being serious because sometimes his cereal box, sometimes it's upside down completely.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you just posted something earlier. You had a Kit Kat cereal. Now it's Raisin Bran. Now it's, like Diet Pops or whatever. Like he was.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think he's playing, but I think he's dead serious too.
All right, Chef. So I have a question. So you're kind of a superhero.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of, right? You're like a chef superhero right now. Like you did that video. John Taser was talking on the podcast. Like everyone knows you. You go, everyone's hugging you.
I won't do an impersonation, but yeah.
So here's what's fascinating is right now we need chef superheroes.
That's correct.
So let's say you're the chef superhero. How are you going to save our industry? Like, what are some things that we could do right now? What's driving you crazy, and what can we do to make the world a better place for chefs?
I want to ask people, chefs and cooks, why exactly are you cooking, and do you know what that means? Like, chefs, we have the power to, like, I can make you cry, I can really get you mad, you can storm out, all over the way something tasted. That's power. So we have the same power that DJs have. We can really rock a crowd. We can have everybody talk about us, and we can have everyone hate us in the blink of an eye, all because of. Why are you cooking? So yes, you went to culinary art school. Why? What's your end goal? And you don't have to have an end goal, right? Maybe you just like, I love cooking, but I think we need to figure out, like, why are you here? Because we have a lot of people in this racket for the wrong reasons.
What do you mean? What do you mean wrong reasons?
Wrong reasons, like, you know, they licked and chopped a couple of times with their parents, and they were like, "I want to be on that TV show because oh yeah, you should be on that show." And what happens is they see a couple of TV shows, and I want to be like that. I heard one guy say, "I want to be a chef because you guys are the new rock stars." So why are you cooking? Those guys don't last long, and it's messing up our industry because Dallas, Texas, Austin, this is Texas. We can find some money. We can open up a restaurant really quick. We can find us some millions and millions of dollars. These restaurants come up and they go down because they don't have good conversations. The guy's money hungry. The chef wants to be he wants to look the part. He immediately gets tattoos. And that's just part of this new image. I want to be a rock star. And so it's like, I think that why are you doing this? And if you are doing it for the right reason, I think it's best to do some good homework. If you are a guitar player, you don't have to. I think you need to know who Jimi Hendrix is. I think you need to know who B.B. King is. There's different styles. I think you need to know who, did I say Jimmy Page already? Jimmy Page and, right. Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys.
So would you say that they're trying to create the image before they have the talent?
The image is first these days.
Yeah.
Not all. There's a couple, there's a lot of chefs that they have old souls. Back in the, in the 90s, there was always these kids that dressed like in the 50s. They loved the 60s and the 70s. They have the Beatles haircut. They just have old souls. And it's cool because there's a lot of 16, 17-year-olds that don't have social media. They don't have, they don't want to be what they love old stuff. And hey, Brent, I got the first, the Spanish chef that such and such. I got they take pride in good finds and good, like, authentic, like, one guy, he was really excited about, I forgot the name of the term. Is it pense? Is it the idea of taking
caramelizing tomato paste?
Yeah. So there's one guy who was like, yeah, man, I do things the right way. I take this tomato paste. He was a young kid. He was on some older technique. We kind of got away from that because we realized it's bitters. It creates your stock is bitter, whatever cases, depending on how you go about it. But there's a lot of, so we're not doomed by no means, but we do have people that are our age, older, a little younger. It's like, you know what? I want to be on TV. They'll come out and say it out of their mouth. Yeah. I want to be a chef. And it's like, okay, cool. But please know what that means.
Yeah. I talk about this a lot on the show. I'll tell you, people, like, they need to build a brand. They need to have social media presence, especially it's like your virtual resume. But I think they also only hear that part, but they don't hear the part of, but you got to cook. Like, you still got to be a good chef. And you can't have one without the other. Otherwise, you're doomed for failure because at some point, rent is due. One thing that I say is, like we were saying, sometimes they want the image before they get the skills. Mm-hmm. But what ends up happening is, like, I have this term, I call them Halloween ninjas, right? So have I explained this to you?
I don't think so.
So a Halloween ninja, like, when you're a kid, you're like 8 years old, you get a ninja costume, you got plastic swords, you go places, everyone's like, scary,
That's
right?
Great. I love
right,
it, yeah.
right. But they're playing dress. No one's really scared that they're real. No one's afraid that sword's really gonna cut them. Yeah. They're playing dress up.
That's great.
Right. There's a lot of chefs that play Halloween ninja. Like,
okay, I like
they,
that.
they got the costume down, but they're not real ninjas. They're not. No one's scared.
They have the knives down. They have the equipment. They have the fancy bags. They know a guy that makes the customized leather bags.
Right.
It's really beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
They got the Just Cook.
They have all the PSAs. They have all the merchandise, and they front. They flex. I was like, because when I started cooking, I think you have pictures of 95. I put my first chef coat on when I was 2002, but I was cooking since 99 anyway. But we don't, I cook. The only thing that was popping at the time was Emerald.
Yep.
And that wasn't enough for us to start. Everyone wants to be a chef. We're just like, oh man, it looks good. I want to start cooking better food now. But no one really want to go be a chef. Then later on, these other TV shows.
Yeah, it was like Iron
out.
Chef and
Iron Chef was over people's heads still. We flipped the channels and well, not we watched it, but people would see that as like, oh, that's too much. But what happened was, you remember the restaurant on Monday night, Rocco Despirito?
yeah.
Yeah,
Now he was living the rock star in that show.
And that's what I'm saying. They watched it. We would watch that, and it was like people started thinking, and then next thing you know, Top Chef came out.
Right.
I'll stop right there, which is a positive thing because the guys in those Top Chef shows, I met like 70% of them, you know, and like 60% of them were really dope. There's that 10%. There's a 10% that's kind of off, but you know, they don't whatever. Rocco Despirito on Monday night, NBC. It was a 2-hour show, and it really got you amped up because Rocco's macking out. He's sitting down with a bunch of girls. And, hey, Rocco. Hey, ladies. How's it going?
Who's Todd English back then? Same
Todd
thing?
English. That's because he was. And then we started winning stupid awards.
Yep.
So we started winning things that had nothing to do with food.
Right.
Todd English won Best Sexiest Man Alive or whatever it is, Sexiest Chef or whatever it was.
I don't know what it was.
It was something sexy, and then it was that, and then you had other chefs doing that too, and then it's like, man, you guys are the new rock stars. Yeah, we can feed a whole bunch of people,
and then we get Hell's Kitchen, and then
we had Hell's Kitchen, and what happened with Hell's Kitchen is people's like it was exciting, and then some chefs like, I want to be a chef one day, and they started mimicking Gordon Ramsay. Like, what's your style? So how do we cure the world of you know, being a superhero? Like, hey, chefs, this is what you don't need to do. What is your style? If you never thrown nothing at nobody, don't start. You know, like that's Gordon Ramsay style. And then when you start doing some homework, I think and also too, if you're a chef, I think you need to pick up a book. The average chef these days, like in the 30s on down, they don't have French laundry cookbook. You have to have it. No, I think it's best that you have it. I think it's very important because
it's one of the most important books, I think.
He gave birth to like a lot of people, especially as far as the cookbook format. And so I think you need to know what Keller is. I think you need to know
Trotter.
You need to know Trotter. You know, in the plate presentations, when it just started coming out, and oh, that's crazy. You have a big old plate right here, but then that little, it's just, oh, that's empty. Because before we was on some like 612 and whatever.
Yep.
Now it's like in dots around the thing and that Marco here white plating, which is like stressful.
Vegetables at 3:00, right? Starch at 6:00 or whatever that was.
Yeah, no, it was on that, but then later on, Keller and Trotter and a few others.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, man, like I think you need to know who Joe Robuchon is because now, unfortunately, Joe Robuchon was chef of the century. The only thing that people can quote is his the Poincaré recipe. He was more than that.
Yeah, he was.
Only if we saw that creme brulee 2.0 he did. That was heavy. I was like, what? Like he had the whole like it was he had the custard here and it had like a blow gun of a sugar bubble or such, and he put the custard into that in the glass sugar, and that was here, and he cracked it. He doesn't get props for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do some homework. With me, I want to know why.
Right.
I want to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if I'm calling something a velouté, I need to know what velouté means so I don't butcher how my presentation goes back, because I could easily call that a jus. This guy called it, I don't like when chefs call it consommé. It's bad cloudy. This is our consommé. And they start whispering. It sounds deep, but it's a consommé. I'm looking at it, it's like, no, it's like once I was somewhere, we did a mushroom consommé. It was nowhere near a consommé. It was cloudy. It was, but see, the art of selling, the art of being a salesman. And right here, what we have here is a mushroom truffled, burnt, green scallion dashi. And what we have is consommé. And what we have here is
where was it from? What farm?
That kind of stuff. No one, I'm about to get started. Like
but don't you think, like, because I agree with what you're saying. Sometimes I disagree a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I disagree that it doesn't matter too much to the person eating it.
That's a fact, but I don't want to lie to them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because they can easily go home and like, hey, such and such, what is the consommé? And consommé will say it's such and such. Like, that's not it. We deal with a lot of hatred, a lot of haters in our industry. I would love nothing. People would eat at your restaurant for the wrong reasons too. It's like, yeah, he has a new restaurant. Really? Yeah, let's go check it out. You know, and just so they can rip on you later at work the next day.
Yeah.
And then some people, we want to get pampered. Like, hey, what's my night off? I can't wait to eat this guy's food. But when something goes wrong, they just like, yeah, I mean, the food was cool, but you know, there wasn't a ravioli. It was
but don't you think it's a double-edged sword? Because I know I experienced this a lot, and I was this guy. I when I was in culinary school, I'd read the glossary terms and I would memorize them. Like that was my thing. I would come home after work or after school. I would sit there in my bed. 'Cause, you know, we had no Instagram, we had no phones. It was just like we had books, right? So I would sit there and I was like, okay, what is a matignon? What is? And I'd memorize how boom, boom, boom. And then I would go to like quiz me, like get the food lover's companion, quiz me. I'll fucking tell you everything in there. And then one day, and I'm young, I'm 17, 18 years old. My chef comes up to me. He's like, I need you to braise this. Go throw it in the oven. Blah blah blah. All right. So it's like a banquet of 200 people. It's time to plate up. He grabs the short rib, and he's like, "How long did you braise these for?" And I was like, "A braise is a combination cooking method, cooked for a long period of time." He's like, "I didn't ask you what the definition was. I asked you how long did you braise it?" And he says, "I said a long period of time." And he's like, "What's a long period of time?" I said, 20 minutes. He's like, right? So I got yelled at. The chef's pissed. Throw him back in.
That's
you know,
but
quite
long.
Yeah, but I realized like there's a lot of chefs over there that'll tell you the fucking hydration and it's this percent that, but they can't fucking cook.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? Like you can tell me everything. You could tell me everything about cooking except you can't do it.
That's correct.
It's the person who's read everything but never put it in practical use. And for me, as a chef, like you know what? I could write the menu. I could edit it. I don't need everyone on my team to tell me 2%, 3%. Like I need to know that you know what braise means.
That's correct.
Like no, but you know how to braise. Not necessarily you could tell me the definition. So
and feel free to be honest. That's something we can, you know, if we want to save the world. Hey chef, be honest.
Yes.
There's no harm in saying I don't know. Don't. We're not gonna make fun of you. Some will because their man is insecure. They get made fun of at the house with their woman and they have to take it out on you. Absolutely. But it's okay to say I don't know. And people have a hard time. I say, chef, you know what we can do with that leftover tuna? Hey, we have this over here. How about we just make an imbotini out of that? You know what that is, right? Oh yeah. It's okay. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? It ain't popular. Feel free to be like, I'm not sure, chef. What is that again? And it's a small percentage of chefs, cooks in the kitchen, especially executive chefs. They have a hard time like saying I don't know. Dude, first of all, you won. You have the gig. It's $85,000 to $100,000 you're making. It's all good. You can. Hey guys, I don't know what that is. What is that, Brent? Feel free to laugh at me. Yeah, well, you know what it is, but I'm getting paid if you want to be immature about it.
Right.
But if there's no harm in saying I don't know. Brent, run that by me again, and don't lie and say, "Oh, it's been a while." No, it's okay, Brent. I know what you're talking about.
My last chef job, what I used to do, I used to compete against my cooks and my sous chefs on purpose, and I would usually challenge them to things that I knew they could beat me in.
Okay.
Right. So it's like, let's just say they were super fast at making brunoise. I was like, I could brunoise faster than you. Like, can you? I was like, even though I knew I could not, but I would compete against them, so I would lose. Like, and so they could go and tell everyone, "Oh, I beat Chef André in the competition." I knew I was going to lose before the competition started. But one thing that it did, one, it made them puffed up. It made them feel good. Yeah. Right. Two, it let them know, like, I'm not afraid. Yeah. Like, I'll challenge anyone on like omelet, brunoise, shucking, whatever. I'm in. But it immediately removed the fear of not knowing. Yeah. Because everyone knew, like, oh, Andre's humble. If he doesn't know, he knows a lot of shit. He doesn't know everything. And I'm okay with like, what is that? And so we used to have them come up with, you know, every week I would have someone, a different person on my team, because it was a pretty large team, like, teach us something. Teach us something we don't know. Yeah. Like this week it's on you. You need to teach us about nixtamalized fruit and from Mexico. You need to teach us about, you know, different jamons from Spain. And what are the differences? So every week's like, we need to learn something, because I used to say, I didn't used to, one of my chefs used to say this, so I'm gonna pretend I used to say one of us is not smarter than all of us, right? But the collective is really where the intelligence is. And when you have enough humility as a chef to step back and say, I don't know, that's when you could really learn. But I put this up on Chef's PSA the other day. It's like, the best chefs don't know everything, the worst ones do. That's so
Yeah. I remember one time this one guy was like, he was making in French Laundry, they talked about the confetti on the dish. Yeah. So the guy that taught him about that was, he misunderstood what confetti was. He said confit. He said, Brent, yeah, man, the plate was beautiful. I took the peppers, I confited, and then and I'm like, yeah? I was like, am I tripping? Because he was knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, we be quoting we quote things from people that are mentors. We quote things, and guess what? They were misunderstood on something too.
Right.
And so now we're quoting them like it's law. I don't care what it is, whoever says it. I'm a very big fan of like online researching it. If it's YouTube, it's that Food Lovers Guide or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's very important because this guy's talking about confit, and I was like, and he's very smart. I said, hey, chef, I don't think it says respectfully. I said, hey, pimpin'. I said, hey, man. I said, I think you mean confetti. Confit is the other thing, but you mean confetti. Oh, really? I thought it was confit. He said, no, I think the guy that taught you, he misunderstood. Now you're talking about you confit and a bunch of bell peppers for a garnish because that's what, because when you read French language drawing, there's a confetti section. Yeah. And the guy that taught him had broken English, so he just took it. So what happens is executives in sushi, whoever's above us or even knowledgeable, maybe, whatever they say, we take it as law. Like, oh, that's what it is, without researching. I'm a big fan of my wife videos. I didn't know why. This is called what it's called, where did it come from. That way it makes me a better chef. I think it makes you a better, you can write menus out better. Yeah. Because you can because pesto means pounded. So it's like, if I want to say, hey, this is a such and such pesto. It doesn't, pesto, nowadays it means, the pine nuts and nuts, or the pine nuts and the basil, oil, cheese, or whatever. But, according to the definition, you know what I'm saying? So nowadays that's what it means, but it doesn't, so.
And you're from Italy.
I was spent 4 years there. I grew up I remember everything.
From Naples, right?
3 to 7, yes.
Yeah. So when people say, oh, what does Brent know about Italy? Brent knows about Italy.
I remember going into restaurants and that's hospitality. I remember the smells I got. I know I was going to be a chef when I got older, and I really held on to that. And then we moved to Izmir, Turkey. I really held on to hospitality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you walked, they didn't look at oh man, hey man, table 3. No, these guys are just very nice across the board. And the hospitality, so I took from that. I applied that as I got older. I was like, I want to have a restaurant where when people walk into a restaurant, like how I did when in Naples, Italy, and how it was warm and it smelled so good.
How was the pizza? Do you remember the pizza?
I remember the pizza I remember everything was just really, really delicious, man.
You have French fries on the pizza?
There was no French fries on the pizza, chef. I do remember
they could put French fries on the pizza.
Yeah, no, I do remember that gelato was really warm. I remember.
Really?
Because what they did was back in those days.
Yeah.
They was using corn. They was using slurs and corn. They would add cornstarch to their old Italian cookbooks. You'll see cornstarch in gelatos.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You're talking about sometimes chefs need to get their egos in check and be humble and be okay with not knowing.
Yeah.
That's really the true path to learning. But you see this a lot online. I mean, I deal with people.
Yeah.
You deal with people.
Yeah.
Someone commenting some stupid shit.
Yeah.
So related but unrelated. How do you deal with haters online, and then how do you deal with haters in the kitchen? So two different answers.
Get Evans. Online, you can easily it stings. Words hurt no matter how you slice it. So when people say one guy clowned me because of my mustache. He said I was about a tweezer video. I have 2 people talk crazy. It's thousands of people shared it. Only 2 people talk crazy to me. One guy was like, if they want to wear tweezers all over themselves, you should let them be them, And this other guy was like, hey, man, your mustache, well, you don't have no mustache? You look silly. And I was like, I'd give him a Bible verse about how to get saved. All that. That's where I stuck it to him. And so you said something on your story one time. You was like, yeah, I'm just too quick with I actually have it saved, by the way. You said, I'm just too quick with the block button. So you can just do it that way. Mm-hmm. And what I've been doing lately, honestly, I give them the sweet and sour treatment. I give them the sour, hey, man, are you serious? Dude, I like girls. And you're up on my page. I'm into girls that clearly, I don't know what message I sent you, but I kind of clown them a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I said, but I said, on another note, man, phenomenal work on that. Your art page is really crazy. Oh, my goodness. And I'll say that I'll give them a huge compliment. I was like, hey, man, you really lived in Switzerland for 4 years? Man, I wish I had the opportunity. So I give them the sweet and sour. I give them the sour, dude, are you kidding me right now? Mm-hmm. At least mine, I'll get really personal. I'll find out that,
That's a good tactic.
I get really personal. I give them the sweet and sour treatment. You give them a good bollocking.
Yeah.
And then you hit them with that sweet. It's phenomenal work on that. But how many Michelin have you worked at, or do you have your own spot? Or man, next time, hey, man, when we come to Dallas, I would love to. And every one of them, they changed their tune. Oh, sorry about that. I was too aggressive the other day, man. And yeah, no, my bad, bro. I don't like it when people make fun of people with tweezers. I don't like it when people don't, because I have a video where the sink was overflowing.
Yeah.
I had a video. I was like, hey, man, I could have cut it off, but I want to show this person, and I had a whole reason for doing that. I want to let the new cooks, like, yo, you need to clean this stuff up. But no, sweet and sour treatment. And then haters in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go watch a gangster movie.
Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder, get close. Clearly, hey man, clearly I upset you. What's going on? What's the real issue here? What's going on? I'm here for you. Is it your girlfriend? What happened? Is it the chef getting on to you? I clearly haven't done nothing to you. If I have done something, I'm sorry. I love you. That's a cheat code. Tell another cook you love him. I'm sorry. Tell them you love him. I mean, that's serious. Because whatever hatred and the envy or whatever they have up, and they're trying to like, hey Brent, you called us to Julianne. My bad, man. I still love you, man. Hey, how's your mother doing? She said, I've been praying for her lately, and I've been to this here. I prayed for her the other day. She goes, oh yes, yeah, man. Thank you, chef. They changed her tune.
Yeah.
And whatever beef you have, it's usually gone. You tell them you love them. Tell them that you're sorry you offended them. I don't mean no harm. Hey, chef, I'm trying to do the best I can right here. By the way, man, how many girls you done pull that car you bought? I just give them the sweet and sour treatment. You learn how to negotiate. You got to give that gangster feel, eye contact, shoulder to shoulder. Hey man, what's going on here? Because a few people I talked to, I had a rough like this. I said, what's going on? I know their peripheral vision caught it.
Yeah.
And one guy, he cleaned his tune up real quick. He got so-called angry over some, so the chef we worked for, he was talking about, hey Brent, make a veal stock, but I want you to dice the carrots. Yes, chef. But for what you're saying, like, I don't agree with that, but it's his place. I'm not checking for that, but yes, chef. The newer cook, he gets around me because he worked with other famous people in the city and hot shots. He goes, Brent, what are you doing? Very angry tone. And he goes, I said, Brent, what are you doing? And I said, homeboy wants us to cut the carrots this way, and he wants us to fine dice the mirepoix for the veal stock for 3 days, chef. Why are you doing it? I said, chef, this is not me doing it. Yeah. This is the chef. Chef told me to do it this way. Yeah, but I don't know. So he kept on mouthing up. I walked around the corner to the tilt skillet, and it was brewing. I was like, I hate to knock this guy out over some carrots. And I thought about it. Yeah, I was like, it's worth it. I walked around the corner, and he was cleaning off his hands. I got right on his station. He had to face me. I say, check this out, man. Whenever you have your own restaurant, I gave him a big old paragraph. I gave him the whole, like, hey, this ain't our show. If you want your own situation, you can have it. I agree with you, chef. I agree with you, but this ain't my show. And if you and I was talking like this, I was like, I was like going back, you feel me? You got me, whatever. And you're like, yeah, I got you. All right. I think I had it. I think he had a peripheral vision. He saw it, and then I was like 5 minutes later, I was like, I got to work 4 more hours with this guy. I hate tension. So I walked around the corner. Chef, you need some more mushrooms prep for your whatever.
Well, you bring up something interesting because a lot of cooks, they get wrapped up in I worked here and here and here, and it drives them crazy when they see something done different. Mm-hmm. Like you're saying, this guy exists, this mm-hmm. girl exists in so many kitchens. Like, how dare they? Yeah. They're doing it wrong. They don't know what they're doing. Chef is dumb because he's telling them to, and it blows my mind that people don't understand. Like, there's not really a right way. Sure. There's not really a right, like sure. Whatever end result
sure.
that the chef wants, that's the right way.
You have the French they take pride in like clear, stocks and that kind of stuff. Make sure you don't roll it. And guess what? Asia rolls it all the time. It's nice and cloudy. Guess how many Michelin stars they got? They got more than everybody.
Right. So what you were saying about this screenshot, this thing that I said. So what I said was, I don't reward bad behavior with my attention, and I don't argue with idiots. Mm-hmm. So if someone's an idiot and they say something stupid, I'm not even going to respond. Like, I'm not even, like, it's not worth my time. I don't argue with idiots. It's a stupid opinion. Yeah. It's a stupid comment. It's a stupid opinion. But if it's an offensive, if it's offensive, like I said, I don't reward bad behavior with my attention. So that means if someone says something that, like, you know what? I don't allow people to disrespect me in real life.
Let
alone online, because like, I mean, you remember what it was like before the internet. It's like, if you said what you said to me online in real life, you knew, like, before you said it, like, can I take this guy? Yeah. Like, before it even came out of your mouth, you'd have to think, can I take this one? Because I know that those are fighting words.
This is where it's leading.
Yeah, like that. Like, do I think I got a shot? Because I know that this is the point of no return. And we're beyond the point of no return online every single day. Yeah. And we think that's okay. And it's like, you know what, if you wouldn't say that, and the reason I don't clap back, because I really don't. Like people will say shit. I very rarely, because I know it's like, man, I don't know what this person's going through. If that's who you want to be on my page, like I didn't ask you to follow me. I could do you a favor and block you. That way you don't have to see my shit. You don't ever have to see my face again. I'm gonna do you a favor.
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it. But I want to talk about hip hop. So I know you were a DJ, and I know you like hip hop. I like hip hop. So if you had to say like, who are the greatest? Well, first of all, who are the greatest artists? Give me the 3 greatest hip hop artists, just 3, in your opinion. And then what are the 3 greatest albums?
All right. So at the gate, my favorite of all time is the Beastie Boys. I don't know we got how much time we have. I got the Beastie Boys, my favorite. That's a group. You said you want individual. I mean,
however you want.
The Beastie Boys.
Loose rules.
Okay, cool. The Beastie Boys is my favorite because of the brotherhood, on the same page. They didn't have a bunch of, they're not known to be falling out left and right. And if they had any beefs, they got cleared up really quickly. They play their own instruments. All of them DJ. All of them get behind a turntable and do whatever. They all can cut. They all play the instruments. They all have their artists to themselves. It was because of the Beastie Boys. They're like, hey guys, check this out. We have all this talent. Why are we? Because they did like the Cookie Puss stuff, and then they went to License to Ill.
Cookie Puss, like
ice
cream cake?
Yeah.
What do you mean Cookie Puss stuff?
They had an album called Cookie Puss.
Just like Carvel?
I don't know what is Carvel.
Carvel, the ice cream cakes, like Fudgy the Whale, Cookie Puss.
Okay, it's a whole album called that. It was they were pranking. You can hear Mike D.
Yeah.
Like, hey, hello, is Cookie Puss there? And they were.
So you know Carvel ice cream cakes, right?
No.
So there's this company, Carvel. They make ice cream cakes, and they have Cookie Puss, which is like a face made out of ice cream. Yeah. Anyway.
No. Yeah. So they're all comedians. They're all pranksters. They all think they are on the same page. They do things in house. Don't get me wrong. Like the Shake Your Head album, they were like, hey, let's go back to this. So they just did things in house, and they just put on a great show. They love hip hop. The Hello Nasty album, when you listen to it, they still had that old school early 80s flow. So they just love what they do. And
so would you say your top 3 artists are all 3 are in the Beastie Boys, and your top 3?
Okay, man, because he's dude, Run DMC and EPMD. I don't beat nuts like Group. I mean, Gangstar. Like I don't really.
Who do you think's a better producer, RZA or Premier? Did you see their verses?
Oh, good heaven! I saw it. Man, I listen more from. I do this more Premier stuff.
Yeah.
RZA's extremely intelligent, but I'm really Premier's. He does a lot of scratching. That's my thing.
Yeah.
So I would.
Someone posted the other day on social media. I thought it was good. I'm gonna steal it. They said once RZA learned how to play instruments was his downfall.
Oh man, my goodness.
like it was that like after '97, it's like music just wasn't as good as before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once he understood music. Him understanding music was the worst thing that happened to him.
Yeah, I would go with Premier because I love scratching, and Premier made sure, and when people was getting away from scratching, he kept it. And so,
all right, last question, Chef. If you had a chef's PSA out there for cooks to start doing or stop doing, what's Brent's chef's PSA?
I think it's gonna take time. I think you need to know exactly. It's gonna take time, but know what each ingredient does, what it does. Why is pancake? The reason why I am the way I am, and I'm not afraid of pastries, because my mom gave me a pancake recipe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what's the difference between baking soda and baking powder? I had to go research it. What's the difference? Why is there's clarified butter, and I started to understand. I had a pancake recipe, and then I'm putting it together because I had to memorize. Like, why does it look this way? Yeah, I had to put the egg. And then one time I'm like, well, why does it look this way? Oh, that's what clarified, but I didn't put the butter in. Why does it taste? Oh man, I winged the baking soda, and I was like, oh, a little goes a long way. And I had to figure out like what baking soda was good, why you added to certain things. And so understanding what each ingredient does in life, different types of rices do different types of results. You want to have like the Uncle Ben white rice risotto. What it's not going to work with that kind of rice. You need to get something. There's others that's extreme to start. Like understand what each ingredient does, protein does, what sears, what doesn't, what, you know what I mean? And I think, no, it's gonna take time, but understand and go home and do some homework. Because after you learn what you learn at work, feel free to go buy a fish. Go buy it.
I saw a video of you butchering a fish. It's funny because you were teaching someone, and I saw it on YouTube. I think. Yeah, and I was like, it's funny because I was like, that's how I teach.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was like,
he was a pastry guy. He's a quick learner, And, you know, and no one was really patient with me. I grew up I was in remedial classes all my life. Like, long story short, I'm not even tell the story, but the only reason why I graduated high school is because my mom worked there my high school year. And I flunked that little TOS test. I flunked it. But I passed the writing, so God was trying to let me know something. But I flunked it bad. And then my mom says, yeah, Brent, my son, he didn't pass that TOS test. You have a son that goes here? Oh, they just went up there and exempt me. So that's the only reason. So with me, I know how to talk to people. I don't talk to people like they're dumb. I explain how things weren't explained to me. And so I'm pretty good about teaching because I know how to go about things in a gentle type of chilling way because I'm not academically, it ain't happening.
Yeah. We could talk about so much, Chef. I want to talk chess. I want to talk more about hip hop. I want to talk about your favorite cereals, but we'll have to save that for the next episode, part 2. Where can people find you?
Not to be that guy, but if they Google Brent Weathers. Brent Eats Food is the Instagram.
Brent Eats Food. All right, Chef. Good seeing you, man.
My mellow man. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Well, hope you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. For those of you that want early access, you want more Chef's PSA, in addition to being able to get exclusive content and early access to podcasts on Substack, I've just released new episodes on Spotify as well. So if you become a premium member on Spotify, you get early access to episodes, including some bonus content. The audiobook, 50 Most Important Chef's PSAs, is also available for premium members on Spotify. I appreciate the support. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Leave 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. Go to chefspsa.com where you get all the books, all the merch. We'll see you next week. Hit the porno music.
Yo, it's André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction. Stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.